Yes, friends, great to have you tuning in again. Today, we have a problem with this front door here. It has a day latch. That means, for example, if I want to move furniture now, or if you need to go in and out frequently, you can flip this little lever here. And then you don't need a front door key. You can close the door, but you can also push it open from the outside. Unfortunately, the mechanism doesn't work 100% anymore. It's an electronic actuator. If I press the button at the top, then the door opens down here. The problem is when I close the door, it opens again. That means it doesn't latch into the catch here. The latch doesn't lock. I can keep pulling the door open. I have to lock the door for it to really stay closed. And now let's take a look at the system together, how it works and what components might be defective. If someone pushes hard from the outside now, so if someone comes from outside and really pushes against it, the door just won't stay closed. You're only on the safe side here if you lock it. Alright, now let's turn the whole thing off first. We have to unscrew the entire strike plate here because the latch is behind it. It's secured here with these two screws, but we can't get it out like this. That means we first have to remove the entire strike plate. So, in my case, we have 1, 2, 3 at the top, 1 in the middle, and 3 at the bottom. And now we'll unscrew those first. So now we've got that done. Disassembled. You can now loosen this here. Now we have to be careful because back here, the power cable, we really have to be extremely careful not to tear it out. So, as I said, here's the power cable. We'll just put it in here like this for now. We'll bend one up now and bend the other one down so that they can't touch each other. Once, twice, and just like that, the device is removed, like this. We'll take a closer look at it later, but for now let's put this back on so we can close the door again. Of course it opens again now, which makes sense because there's no latch anymore. Now I'll take the key and simply lock the door. And now let's take a much closer look inside this device and see exactly what is going on. We want to find out what could be broken in there and understand how it actually works. Now, we will carefully try to push this thin metal sheet on the side up just a little bit further than before. There we go. Now repeat the exact same thing on the opposite side. And then we can already easily open it right up. Here is the whole thing we've been looking at. Once, twice. If we move this specific switch here now, what happens with the lever, of course, is that the lever goes up and then you have this latch working as usual. So we can then open it up here as usual. Just pop it open. No problem. Then I'll flip the lever back again. Then it doesn't work so easily anymore. So it seems to work like that, at least with the specific level of physical pressure I'm applying here. So I think I've identified exactly where the problem lies now, namely this part here, the edge. When it gets pressure here, then it stands up right here, comes all the way down this path, and then it eventually rests in between this area, right inside the slot. And now here it comes moving forward. But the problem is that I simply don't have the physical strength to push it manually, so I'm going to use this screwdriver right here and try to simulate the movement as best as I can. And now pay close attention to this lever here. Now I'm applying pressure, and now I have to work the lever. Did you see that? It just comes out. That's how it goes down. And because of that, it's of course clear that when it's like this, the latch will naturally and easily open. Of course, it's then clear that it will. So I'll try to take this whole thing apart now to see. And of course, we really have to be extra careful that these small tension springs right here don't accidentally fly away. Because once a spring like this is gone, it is truly gone forever. You should use your thumb right here as a little stopper and carefully try to pull it out just a bit further now. The lever. It's best if we relax this a bit here. The lever, so that this part sticks out just a little bit. Now we can just take it out. As I said, watch out for the spring. It's best to keep your thumb over it here so it's not released. And then we can just take it out. There we go. Needle nose pliers aren't bad for this. Then I can lower the lever a bit here. Again, now we have a bit more space to get in there. Now be careful with the spring. There's a coil in here. Yes, and there's a metal pin. You can see it in between here. And the metal pin, when the button is pressed now, pushes the lever over, and that lets you get in. And the lever then will automatically return back to its original position. If you don't really like the day opener, you can carefully remove this small spring that's located inside here, which presses against the slider by simply moving it back in and out again. You can take it out. And that way you no longer have any connection to the slider and you no longer have a day release function. We had the problem here that if you take a look at this specific part, right up here at the very front, you can see it was actually quite rounded, especially right along this edge here on the front. So because of that design, I actually had a very noticeable curve right here at the front section. And that's probably why it didn't hold either. It kept slipping off. Now I've filed it here. So basically I have carefully filed it down right here. And I have also done the same thing here on the very top as well. I've also filed on top here to get to the edge. Here I have a nice sharp edge at the front. Now it's nice and sharp at the front here. Here it's a bit rougher. It's not as smooth as it was at the beginning. So it probably won't slip anymore there either. Alright, now I'm going to put it back together. Press and hold it very carefully at an angle. It's because of the spring, so that the spring, which is also a bit tricky to get in, doesn't pop out. It fits in nicely right away. Now let's close it up. So, and now if I perform our test here again, that means the screws go exactly back in here just like they were before. And I will carefully try to open it now. Then it doesn't work anymore. It's definitely tight now. Of course, right here in this middle section where we sanded it down, it doesn't seem to slip out of place anymore, because first of all, the surface is much more textured. Well, it's certainly not as smooth as it was before. And do we have a corner in here now? And that corner probably fits nicely into the edge here. And that's why it can't just be opened so easily anymore. So, alright. Now it has passed the test for now. And we'll see the rest once we've installed the thing down below. The seal goes back on here. Yeah. And then the protective lid goes back on. These are the two small holes. Here are the two holes. And here are the two holes on the side. Now this whole piece goes back on again. Once. Twice. Done. But you can also simply purchase a brand new replacement for one of these items, where you just have to make sure you have the same type or something similar. You have the measurements here. And what's really important here is if you want to order something like this new, there's a 12-volt system and a 24-volt system. This one here is the 12-volt system. So you have to use 12 volts again. Alright, now of course we're going to install it again so that the guide goes back in where the slots are. You really can't install it the wrong way around. So now we'll reconnect the cable. So now we'll put it back in nicely. The cable goes neatly back in at the back. Make sure not to pinch it. leave a little bit of slack so we can move it around at the back. That means we can now move the part around much more easily. Just a single notch slightly further in. So by 1 notch. So we'll unscrew the component again and carefully shift it just 1 notch further in. Well, honestly, it definitely felt like it was a bit too much to handle all at once. Okay then, let's try to open it up once again for a brief and careful moment, just to see if there is anything at all that actually changes, or if we notice any new developments happening inside. Like this. It actually appears to be improving already, but there is still a bit of noticeable movement in it. The further this thing is pushed into the mechanism, the more the door gets pulled in as well. Okay, so we need to go a bit further in. We had only tacked it in place. Now we need to go 1 more notch further in. Okay. Let's close it. Oh, I thought the problem was me. Now it locks. No, that was too much. They're too far in, so let's pull them out a bit. Cool, man. Yeah, guys, with those black parts, those sliders, they just got too worn down. Over time, gradually from opening and closing it all the time through repeated use, it just eventually starts to wear out. That's just material wear and tear. But we were able to compensate for it a bit by grinding it down a little. If you enjoyed the video and I was able to give you some insights, feel free to give me a thumbs up. If you haven't subscribed to me yet, you can go ahead and do that. Of course, the advantage is that you won't miss any of my future videos. Well, in any case, thank you for watching. Thanks very much for your interest. Now I'll grease the hinges again so it's not so squeaky. See you in the next video. Until then, bye.